You should be really proud of yourself. You know why? Because you decided to stop practicing chords and level up your guitar game and finally get into soloing. Really proud of you.
Ah, going Eric Clapton on me. Amazing, man.
But here is the problem that many beginner guitar soloists face. It's easy to learn note by note and tabs all the famous solos from famous songs like Seven to Heaven using tutorials here on YouTube itself. But what gets really difficult is when you try to randomly play solos and it just doesn't sound good. And so in this video, I'll give you 3 simple steps for you to bring out your creativity while soloing as a beginner. And this will also intrigue many of you advanced people out there and help you improve your improvisation. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. Also, like many of you already know, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so I kind of have to do this. If you really like the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get more video updates from us. Now, let me list out each of the steps, but please remember to watch till the end of the video because I'll be elaborating upon them as well. Step number 1 is don't just memorize scales. Use the concept of scales as a creative toolkit. Step number 2. Modify scale structure at free will to discover new genres from the blues to the Carnatic, even if you may not know these scales theoretically. And finally, the best step, regardless of whether you're a beginner or an advanced player, focus on rhythm and organizing your bars, your measures of music, more than the notes that you actually have to play. To understand the advantages of this, let's now elaborate. For step number 1, what do I mean? Don't just memorize scales. Use the concept as a creative toolkit. I'm not telling you not to memorize, but I'm asking you to look at scales in a deeper way. And let's start with the most common, boring way that we all know, music theory way. If you look at the scale of E minor, it has the notes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and E. But if you look at the dashes I've drawn there, they represent something. What do they represent? Whole tone intervals. And if I continue progressing, there are whole tone, half tone, whole tone, whole tone, half tone, whole tone, whole tone. Many of you may have studied this, but if you don't know, this is the interval formula for any minor scale. If you started with E, these are the notes you'll get: E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. However, for many people who are learning music, this kind of theory doesn't make sense. And I want to tell you why. Because the beauty and the love for music has not already set in. So how do we change things? We change things by simply looking at them in a different way. For example, the same notes of the E minor scale can be represented on your guitar fretboard like this. And when I show you this, if you are a person who has just maybe studied 1 or 2 scales, this might look confusing. But to make it simpler, we can change the way that we look at it from Western note names to fret numbers. 0 to 3, 0 to 3, 0 to 4, 0 to 0, 1, 3, 0. See how much more easier it is now to remember this and practice this. Now, again, great soloists, people who really know how to jam on the spot, they look at scales in a completely different way. They go back to the classical definition of scales. Let me show you my camera here. Where just like you would sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Obviously, in the minor scale, it's called a minor scale solfege. Guitar soloists who are really good and natural with the guitar look at the scales as a way to access these solfeges. Take a screenshot of it so that you can take it home with you and practice these. Now let's look at one of our students, Sandeep, and how he uses the E minor scale to get a very bluesy sound.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4.
How did he do that? Well, that brings us to step number 2. modify your scale structure to discover new genres all the way from the blues to the Carnatic. For example, let's come back to our E minor scale. This is what it looks like. But what if I remove the F sharp notes, both of them, as well as the C notes? You know what happens? It becomes the E pentatonic minor scale. The E pentatonic minor scale was hidden under your E minor scale all this while. And using this, you can now play solos like Sandeep to get that bluesy sound. However, let's go back to the E minor scale. Now, what if I suggested pushing your F sharp from F sharp to the F and pushing your D note from the D to the D sharp, and you will get this scale. Now, I have no idea what the scale is. I'm sure if I use ChatGPT, I'll find out in a minute, but I would request you to do that and share in the comments what scale is this? What is the name of the scale, right? But whatever it is, if you play it with your fingers, it sounds so Carnatic.
Yeah, some notes in this. While holding this, I thought why not like play it, make it some more Indian classical Carnatic style. So, sir. And then combine it with
more Carnatic when he's playing the F note. So play the F note. Stop going to the G, because G, E minor is based on the G scale. G is the happy tonality. It'll mess things up. Target F, target D sharp. Do you know what D sharp is? Yeah. Na should be E. D sharp creates tension, lands on E. F creates tension, lands on E. Now try it. Okay, ready? Just go, give it a flow. Don't kill me.
that was
You know, you reminded me of a movie, where the old guy is dead. Okay.
This actually is good.
Wow. Now we have an... And that's why you can alter notes of scales that you already know to discover new sounds and play it and try it. And the more you do this, you will realize that music has no rules. Even though we have a big fat music theory book to get you going, you can now, because you're aware of things like this, you can now break the rules, get your own unique sound while soloing. And finally, step number 3, focus on rhythm and organizing your bars more than the notes that you actually play. Because so many of you soloists are trying to hit the notes, get the bends, get the slides, when internally your ears still can't process the organization of music like a music producer would. Let's say this is your chord progression, E minor, D, C.
So I was playing something we discussed that day, the power chords and all.
Are you being able to visualize them as a set of beats which go 1, 2, 3, 4 for E minor, and a set of bars, because this is the second bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another set of bars, 1, 2, 3, 4 for D, another set of bars, 1, 2, 3, 4 for C. Many soloists never even consider organizing music like this in their mind before they start soloing. They just want to start soloing and rocking, which is why so many of you are still delayed with your progress in soloing and improvising. Just look, observe. Let me finish fully. I want to know if you can say this vocally. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Perfect. I want you to stick to this vocal pattern while you're doing all of this.
Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 1 and 2 and 4.
Hopefully, this has given you a lot of context around how to level up your soloing game and improvising game. Please watch the video again so that you get a sense not only of the technical theoretical side, but the artistic side where you can start making your own tasty licks and creating small vocabularies and start using this as if it was your own language. And you will become a soloist people will want to listen to more on YouTube. For watching till the end, I'm a mentor to several songwriters, creative beginners, and adults just like you. So if you want to work with me personally, just click on the link in the description where you can access your free one-to-one session directly with me. Bring me your problems so that I can create a custom roadmap for you. See you next time in our next video. Keep rocking.